everybody, it is your girl here, Jamie Divine, coming at you today with a video all about the 5 myths of astrology. Those of you who know me, you know that I love astrology. I've always loved it for so long in my whole life, and I've been studying astrology for quite some time. And I get asked a lot of questions, and my channel is now almost like 2 years old. So I'm always promoting my channel. I'm like, check out my channel, subscribe to my channel, and all of this. You know, I'm on YouTube, check me out, and all that great stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, cool, I will do that. What do you do on? Because this is what they've heard their whole life, and they really don't understand astrology. I always get hit with, I read my horoscope in the paper and it's not right. So number 1 is astrology versus horoscopes. First of all, astrology is a pseudoscience. I mean, they want to call it pseudoscience, which means that it's not a factual science, but in all actuality, it is science, right? Horoscopes are basically just a map of the sky. I mean, they do use the astrological signs, but they don't have any type of mathematical points that they're trying to analyze a person's birth chart or something. They do a general overview on what can possibly happen on today based on the placement for Aries, right? So it's no accuracy to it to a certain extent. Like maybe some people will, of course, because you know, it's a general overview. Astrology, on the other hand, is a snapshot of the sky when you were born. The time that was on the clock when you were detached from your mother's womb is what gives you your birth chart in astrology. Astrology measures your chart and base your characteristics off of mathematical points in the sky during the time of your actual birth. Now, with that being said, there's a ton more accuracy in astrology opposed to horoscopes. They're not the same. They're they're like almost totally opposite. Horoscopes are basically creative writing, you know, just entertainment in the newspaper. Astrology, people actually live their lives based off of the positions of the planets and make decisions based off of it, especially when they're deep into it. They know, they understand transits and progressions in their birth chart. They actually can be very, very successful by using the astrology system. So just to clear it all up, astrology versus astrology is not horoscopes, okay? They are affiliated by zodiac signs only, nothing else. Astrology is all about degrees, aspects, and conjunctions and oppositions. So it would be crazy to think that all Aries will have the same exact day. Okay, that's foolery. Of course, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, myth number 2. The question is astrology a religion? In my estimation, there are no correlations of astrology being a religion. There's nothing about astrology that constitutes that it's a religion, okay? Now, of course, religion is basically just a belief system, right? But astrology is a study, the study of, you have astro, which is basically the cosmics, you know, the constellations, the sky, right? Space. Then you have ology. Ology is the study of, basically. So astrology is like psychology or physiology or, you know, biology or something like that. It is the study of, basically. Each astrologer, their own situation, their own definition of what they use it for, but it is not a religion. It is a belief system that people use to make predictions. Basically, kind of like the meteorologist. In spite of what a lot of Christian believers like to believe, astrology and religion goes hand in hand. But is astrology a religion? No, it's not. You can't have religion without astrology, because astrology is the beginning of everything. Astrology started everything, okay? Time and space is what astrology is. Astrology is knowledge of self. In the beginning, God created the heavens, which would set the tone for everything else to come. Without astrology, there will be no time, no clocks, no structure. There would be no days of the week. There would be absolutely no type of structure. We live in astrology every single day. So when Christians tell me, oh, I don't believe in that stuff, you don't have to believe in it. You walk in astrology every single day of your life. You live it. So you can't believe that you're living. Also, astrology gave birth to meteorology. In order Now, I know a lot of people, they say, oh, you know, the three wise men, they were astronomers. No, they were not astronomers. They were astrologers. There was no such thing as an astronomer in those times, you know, back in those times. How would they be able to get the information out to the people? There were no satellites. There were no navigation systems. There were no type of electronics during those times. Everything that people did during those times, they did it based off of the sky. They're traveling. Whenever they needed to get to one location to another location, they did it by looking into the sky. Whenever they wanted to harvest, when to harvest, when not to harvest, they looked into the sky. The wise men were wise enough to know that there was a correlation between human beings and the sky. So that's what made them wise, and that's why, you know, people don't want to look at them as astrologers. They want to say astronomers, but there's no way that they were astronomers. They were not looking in the sky with a telescope to say, oh, you know what? No, they didn't have any type of equipment like that. Astrology is not a religion. The three wise men were not astronomers. They were astrologers. Religion and astrology goes hand in hand, you know, because everything, and I will get to that. In the end, I have something for you guys that kind of like gives you the correlation between religion as well as astrology. If you guys continue to watch the video, it will be at the very end if you would like to see that. Number 3. Sun signs describe your personality, your characteristics, your destiny, and all of those great things to come in your life completely. So the thing is, a lot of people think that their sun sign is the only zodiac sign that they have. In all actuality, you have most people have many zodiac signs in their birth chart. You like me, myself, I have every zodiac sign in my chart. I have them all, okay? I have them all, okay? Absolutely foolery to believe that all Aries are the exact same. All Taurus are the exact same. It just doesn't even make sense. So that's why I feel like a lot of people, they kind of turn away from astrology and they feel like it's just BS, because, you know, they're led to think that the only sign that you have is that sign that you see in the horoscope section with your birth date right beside it. In all actuality, no. You have several different zodiac signs in your chart. Now, what I can tell you about your sun sign and what all Aries have in common with each other are the core traits of that Aryan nature. But the way they represent themselves, representation is absolutely different depending on the rising sign, because the rising actually gives you your personality traits. It kind of like sets the tone for the remainder of your houses. Also, although you have the core traits of an Aryan, but the way that you use them could be totally opposite from the next Aries. And also you have to look at the degree that your sun was actually in during your time of birth. If you're at a low degree, then you may have high characteristics of that zodiac sign. But if you're at a very high degrees, like 25 and above degrees, then actually you may have more personality traits of the next sign in line. So that is something to keep in mind when you're watching my videos and you get all upset. Oh, she hates Virgos. Oh, she hates Libras. I hate no one. And actually, you may not even be that zodiac sign that you think you are, just because your sun is there. That it's just so much more. First of all, astrology goes so much deeper than your sun sign. There are so many layers to astrology that it's ridiculous, okay? There are so many layers to it. There is no wrong, there is no right in astrology. There is no yes and there is no no in astrology. You continuously learn, and if you actually study astrology, you'll actually be able to gain some benefits for your life. You will actually be able to make better and wiser decisions based on your transits and your progressions. So it's a lot that you can actually do. You're so much more than just a sun sign. And if you ever get the opportunity to, check the description box. Click on the birth chart link and get your birth chart, and then start learning things about yourself. You need to at least know the big three, and that is your sun, moon, and rising sign. And once you know those three, you can actually get pretty far with your astrology, and then you'll start to understand it a lot more. Your sun sign is not your only zodiac sign, okay? It is just the beginning. Number 4. This one is funny to me because I'm always laughing about it. Number 4, astrology versus witchcraft. Is astrology associated with witchcraft? The answer is absolutely not, okay? No. Astrology has nothing to do with witchcraft. First of all, let's define witchcraft. Witchcraft is magic, basically. Anything dealing with the supernatural, or just black spells, or black magic spells and things of that nature. I can assure you that astrology has no type of magic aspects. It's not supernatural. Astrologers, astronomers look at the moons and it's very visible to you. It's not anything that's hidden away or a spirit. It's actually their actual celestial bodies in the sky that are actually being studied. So there's nothing supernatural or magic about astrology. It's just a snapshot of our solar system during the time of your birth, depending on your city and state. That's all it is, okay? It's not witchcraft. It's no magic, okay? There's no spells at all. And another thing that kills me about a lot of people is they're always asking me to oh, can you tell me about my next month or something? Like I'm a psychic. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a palm reader. I'm not any of those things. So stop asking me to read your palms or tell you what's gonna happen to you. I can't tell you that. I can only look in your chart and predict what type of energies you may face. That's what astrology is. So don't ask me that. We're not psychics. Now, I can look at your chart and look at transits and progressions and see what's coming your way, what type of energies you're gonna face. But how you deal with those energies are totally up to you, my friend. You have Rahu and Ketu, which is the north and south node of the moon. Those are karmic debts that we all came here to pay. And when Rahu or Ketu is sitting in a house, it is very difficult to truly interpret Rahu and Ketu. But however, Rahu takes away and Ketu keeps us in a comfortable zone, but it doesn't allow us to grow if we don't break free of it. So having Rahu or Ketu sitting anywhere during your transits or progressions, that is something that is going to be a very difficult situation, and even astrologers can really predict what's going to happen if that's the case in your chart. So to answer your question, astrology is not witchcraft. We can give you some pretty accurate predictions based on the energies of our solar system. Number 5, last but definitely not least, astrology versus occultism. Is astrology an occult science? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Astrology is not learning, and studying astrology does not affiliate you with an occult at all. No, it does not. Definition of occult is supernatural, magical, or mystical beliefs, practices, or phenomena. Okay. Second definition of occult is cut off from view by interposing something. In a nutshell, it is something that is hidden away. Astrology has never been hidden away from public view. It was practiced openly during biblical times. Evidence shows that astrology was a tool used by civilization, starting in Babylonia, until the Christians transformed astrology into something that was of taboo, you know, magical or mystical, which always kind of like leave me feeling a tad bit perplexed, because the simple fact there were 12 books missing from the Bible. I wonder what those 12 books were. Also, we're talking about, and if astrology was actually in there, if it was actually in there, but really explained in details, because astrology is in your Bible already, because if you really pay attention to everything in that book, you will actually be able to put it down. I mean, you will be able to actually put it all together. The Bible is a book to be interpreted, okay? Now, the 12 houses, the 12 gates of heaven. Let me tell you this. I saw this pastor or someone, he was on YouTube and he was actually trying to explain the 12 gates of heaven. And he was trying to explain it in a way that it didn't correlate with astrology. But he did an absolute horrific job of trying to do that, because it was no way to get around those 12 houses, those 12 gates. Is it Revelation 21:21? I think. And this is off the top of my head, you guys, so I'm not sure, but it's in your book of Revelations, the 12 gates of heaven. So he was trying to explain what they represented, and he was saying that it was entrance levels to heaven. But there's only one heaven, there's only one God. So why do we have 12 entry levels? You know, in all actuality, the 12 gates of heaven are the tribe of Israel, okay? The 12 sons of Jacob, you know. So the 12 houses actually the 12 gates are actually houses. Is the actual astrological system. Each one of Jacob's sons were named after an astrological sign. Now, they have different names based on, you know, what you're looking at, the Old Testament or English, but they're all representing the actual 12 houses of astrology. You will see these things in your Bible, but they're in different, they have different translations of these names, because they were left there for you to interpret. And most people are never going to open a book to really read, and that's including the Bible. They learn what they learn from their pastor. They never actually take the time to learn anything on their very own. There's a lot to be explored. There's a lot to learn. And in closing of this video, I just want to let people know that it doesn't matter what you believe in or what system whatever system you believe in, or whatever religious system you believe in is fine, you know, because they are all the same. Every system has the same thing. They have a supreme God, and then they have their foundation. They have their belief system and what they follow with that, because in the end, they're only trying to be motivated, inspired, and encouraged, so that they will find a way to become a greater person, so that they may be able to, you know, make it back to the spirit world that is a comfortable spirit world, rather than being somewhere that's uncomfortable. So my thing is just like, with astrology is a wonderful tool to use. Do I think you should use it to judge other people and how they are or what they are? Yeah, I do. But in all actuality, I guess I would say maybe not. If you want to just give a person a chance, you can. But me, myself, I do give people a chance. But once I'm gonna find out that zodiac sign first. And once I find out what their zodiac sign is, and I watch their behavior, and I go from there, I'm like, okay, you are definitely your sign. And yeah, I'm just not gonna carry on any further with you, because it would be a waste of my time as well as your time. Now, I think misuse of anything will actually become bad. But as long as you use astrology as a tool to like kind of like help to guide you to be a better person, you know, I just feel like that is nothing, is absolutely nothing wrong with astrology. I love it. I love it so much, and it's just so amazing to me. And for those of you who don't know anything about it, and those of you who actually, you know, want to learn more about it, but you're afraid, you're like, oh, this is so wrong, it's so bad. Well, it's not. Everything is bad if you actually look at everything and dissect every detail of a situation, then everything is bad. And so, I mean, it's no way around doing bad things. What really matters is the intent of your heart. Intentions are everything. And I think a lot of people miss that because they think, oh, I'm a good person. Oh, let's just do a scenario like people who go to church every Sunday and they're like, you know, I'm always at church. Yeah. And they go out in the community and they do good things and things of that nature. But in all actuality, they pitch a bitch to do all those things. They're like mad and they don't really want to do it. But because of their social status, they go ahead and do it anyway because they want to look good in their community and they want to uphold a certain type of image. That will definitely get you a seat in heaven. Negative, because in all actuality, if you're not doing it purely from your heart, it doesn't matter what actions you take or what actions you do. If it's not purely from your heart, it becomes worthless. Okay, so in the end, the only thing that truly matters, as I say in all of my videos, is the intent of your heart. Your heart is your true voice. It is the true you. Because even when you're praying, if you're praying to God and you're saying things out of your mouth, but inside of you, your heart is saying something different, it is your heart that is being heard, not your words. That is just a tool to communicate with others so that you can have some structure in your life. Now, with that being said, you guys, these are my 5 myths of astrology. And until the next time, you guys, I wish you so much love, peace, and so many wonderful blessings. Bye.